Right. So today we are going to see a topic in the exception handling, that is uses of the try, catch, throws, and finally keyword. Now this is also be called as, this topic is also be called as exception handling keywords. To handle the exceptions in Java, we have some predefined keywords that are try, catch, throws, and finally. We are also following the same book, that is Java Complete Reference, as well as some other resources. Now this topic talks about the Java exception handling keywords. Nothing but the uses of the keywords like try, catch, final, or throws. So these are the different keywords are there to handle the exceptions in Java. Now already in the last class we have seen what is an exception and what is the usage of exception handling. Now we are saying that how to handle exception. So how to handle exception in Java is with the help of this keywords: try, catch, throws, and finally. Let me see in detail about that one. As I said we are having 5 different keywords are there to handle exception in Java. One is the try, second is catch, third one is the final, and fourth throw, and fifth one throws. Let me discuss their general form. General form is nothing but what? Syntaxes. Syntax of each, let me discuss about that. The syntaxes of about each one. Now, let me talk about the first one, try. So in this try, we are going to be talking about, try is nothing but we are need to be whatever the code. If you won't have any doubt that this code may be, normally you are writing the code, right? So that code, if you want at runtime, if it is throwing some errors, if you have a doubt on that particular code, you please keep that code in this try block, or else whatever the code you are starting after the declaration of the variables, if you want to be the main logic it is started, right? So that logic of the total code will be keep in this try block. So what is the purpose of try block is, here is we are going to using the try keyword to write the try block, open braces and close braces. So in this block we are writing the block of code to monitor for errors. So whichever the exceptions you are going to be expecting, that code, or if your normal code whatever you are writing, you can keep that code also in try block. Now any exceptions has raised in this try block code, it will throw the exception, right? It will throw that. So once it is throw that exception, somebody has to be catch that. Like we are throwing the ball, somebody has to there for catch it. So the catch or final, we can, whatever the exception throws by the try block can be catched by the catch keyword, catch block, or finally block. Any one of the blocks we can write it. Try immediately followed catch, try immediately followed final. So this finally, or we can use catch. So what is the purpose of catch block? This is a catch block over here. Whatever the exception throw by the try block, it will be catch that one, and we'll check what type of exception it is. Already we have seen we have different types of exceptions, right? Like IO exception, SQL exception, runtime exception. Under that we have arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, array index out of exception, all this array index out of bound exception. All these are different types of exceptions we are having. So based on the throwing of the try block, it will catch that particular exception. So whoever is going to be, whichever the exception is throwing, that particular, the exception will be catched by the particular catch block. So all the exceptions will not be catched by the catch block. The respective, for each exception, we are writing a block. Say for example, for arithmetic exceptions, we are writing one catch block. For IO exception, we are writing one catch block. For SQL exception, we are writing one catch block. For null pointer, we are writing one exception block. For the array index out of bound, we are writing one catch block. If it is whichever the exception is belongs to that particular catch block, that catch block will be catch that the exception which is thrown by try, right? Whichever, once the try block has thrown some exception, the exception first of all check the list of catches we are having. The respective catch, whoever belongs to that particular throws of the by the try block, that throws of exception, that will catch and it will be take care of that one. So that is the purpose of a catch block. Catch block will be handle the exception handling for exception type 1, exception type 2, like this. So this final block will be can be right for executed after try block ends. So final block can be used like for the purpose of once try has done some job. Now at the end, it has to display a message. At the end of the try block, it will be display some code. What the code? Say for example, you draw the money, or you have changed your PIN number of your ATM, or you have transferred from one ATM to another ATM the amount, or you have recharged in the ATM machine. All these options, all these services you have done it. For all this, any one of this, any service, if you are access, at the end, what it display? Thank you, visit for once again, or thank you for visiting so and so. This is common message will be there. Whatever the service you are using, a common message will be there, right? So that commonality of the code, if the try throws the exception, if the try does not throw the exception, doesn't matter. Whatever that one, after immediately the try block, whatever the common message want to execute that code can be done in the final. But remember, after the try block, only the catch. After the try block, only the final. Maybe it is a catch or maybe a final. If you want, there is you are expecting some exception is there in the try block, somebody has to there to catch that one, can use catch. Or instead of catching, you don't know which type of exception can be raised it. Simply, I want to know some exception has raised or not, whatever the exception. At that time, you can use finally. If you know the exception, what type of exception is it, chances are there, you can write the catch, the respective exception, block code. If you don't have any idea about that one, after try, immediately, you can use final. Such a way that in the final, we are writing that something is happened in that try block, maybe it's a positive or error, it automatically the final will be executed. Okay, so let me discuss in detail about that. Now the fourth keyword is throw. So it throws some the throwable instance. Throwable instance is nothing but it throws the respective object. They say, for example, arithmetic exception is there. The respective instance. Instance is what? As an object. Creation of an object is called as instance. What type of instance is this? Throwable instance. So what you are going to throwing? We are throwing an exception. The respective object throw exception we are throwing. Throws will be done. Throws can be used. Where we can use throw, where we can use the throws means throw directly you can use directly for a particular class itself. Directly we can use for a particular class or for a particular statement we can use throw. But throws can be used for the methods, like for entire block method type. This is a syntax for method parameters. Now here we are going to using throws and exception list. So whatever the exception list we are having, like arithmetic exception, IO exception, SQL, or maybe any runtime exceptions are there, we can list out there, and the respective body of the code will be executed. If this body having any sort of, the exception is there, that will be take care of that throws and list. Simply remember, throw can be used for a statement. In a statement, we can use it. Throws can be used for a method. Method means what? For a set of statements, we can use throws keyword. For a single statements, we can use throw. For a single statement, we can use throw. For multiple statements, nothing but methods, we can use throws keyword. Okay, so we'll see the examples of each of this. Now coming to the first part, that is try block. So just now we have seen the different forms of the try and as well as the catch and finally and throws. These are the syntaxes of the 5 different keywords of exception handling. Hope you note on that. Now first one, Java try block. The Java try block is enclosed the code that might throws an exception. So we are going to be keeping that a code. If you have a doubt on that particular doubt, you can keep that which can throw the exception. That code can be keep in that enclosures. So it must be used within a method. Remember that one. Try block has to use inside within a method. So Java try block must be either followed by either a catch keyword or maybe a block or maybe finally block. Maybe catch block, try immediately catch or try immediately finally. So this is the syntax for Java try catch, that is try. This is the syntax for try, immediately catch. So what is the syntax for catch? Catch of exception class followed by the object for that one. We'll see the example so that we can understood very clearly about this. So what is the syntax for catch? Catch within the parenthesis, we are writing the exception class name followed by space followed by the object reference. Say for example, arithmetic exception is a exception class, arithmetic exception space AE, where AE is a object for that. Not only AE, you can use OBJ, anything. So try is a block here. And what we say, we can try immediately followed by catch or try immediately followed by finally. So this is try immediately followed by catch. Now let me see try immediately finally. So this is a syntax for try and this is a syntax for finally. So finally is nothing but is a block. Block means what? Like we are writing some code inside. How we are writing for a method, like we are writing for this also. And remember, we have a parenthesis for only for catch. We don't have any parenthesis for try block. Try only single keyword. Catch parenthesis is like a method we are writing. For finally also no parenthesis. For throws also no parenthesis. For throws also no parenthesis. So remember that only for catch we are going to using parenthesis over here. So this is the combination of try followed by finally. So next part is Java catch block. So Java catch block, what is the purpose of catch block? Is used to handle the exception. It must be after the try block only. After the try block. Remember the keyword, remember the point. After the try block only, we are going to using catch. Okay. So you can use multiple catches blocks within a single try. One try, multiple catches. Like I said, you don't know what is the exception throws by the try block. That may be an arithmetic exception. You can write one catch for arithmetic. Maybe that may be an IO exception. You can write a one catch for IO. That may be a null pointer exception. You can write a catch for the null pointer. That may be a array index out of bound. You can write a catch for array index out of bound index, right? Like this, you can write for one try, multiple catches. One try, one catch, or one try, multiple catches. Multiple catches means what? Multiple exceptions that may be, which we don't know, like a switch, which can be matched, like case A, case B, case C, case D, whichever it is, choice is matched, that case will be executed. In the same fashion, whichever the exception is belongs to that particular cache, that cache block will be executed. Let me see one example here, without exception and with exception. So here the example program without exception. What I'm doing here is I'm creating a class here, test try catch one. Now I'm writing the main method, and here int data equal to 50 by 0. So 50 by 0. So anything, any number divided by with 0, it raise definitely a issue, definitely an exception. So it may be a throw and exception. So what is the next line? After this line, what is the next line? Is rest of the code. Actually, the output is exception in thread main java.lang arithmetic exception divided by 0. This is what the error will comes, and the rest of the code after this line of the exception is raised at what? Line number 1, line number 2, at line number 3. So once the line number 3 has raised the exception, it come out of the program and it raised the error. It doesn't go for the rest of the lines. Like we have another line number 4. It doesn't execute that part. Even it is a correct line, it doesn't execute it because of that exception. When you are not using exception handling. So as displayed in the above example, rest of the code is not executed. In such rest of the code statement is not printed in the output. What is the output of this program? Exception in thread main, it is showing java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. That is the error. Now let me see, run the program so that you can understand very clearly about this. So here is the program. Here without exception. Yeah. So without exception, this is the program. This is the same program, whatever I have shown you. This is a simple program I am taken here. So without exception, the class name, here a subroutine, I am just using d equal to 0, a equal to 10 by d. Same, nothing has changed. Just we are calling a main method and without exception dot subroutine. Or else you can take this code also. Doesn't matter. Whatever you are comfortable, you can use. This also you can use. Same code. Nothing to worry. Just for example understood, I just use that one. If you want, you can use also this. Okay. So only we have to take another class. I'll just paste here. And what is the class name? Here is the class name, and this is the divided by 0, right? So just save the program. .java file where we can save. Here we can save the exception practice program test try catch, right? So test try 1. So go to the folder, go to the command prompt to run the program. CMD. Now what is the file name? Test.java. And test class here. Now I am running the program. Java C space class name. See, when you are compiling, what is an exception? It is a runtime. When you are compiling, it doesn't get any error because the syntax is correct. Nothing is the problem there. But when we'll get the error, when I'm compiling the program, will not get the error because exception is itself nothing but runtime. When you are executing, runtime means what? When you are running the program. How to run the program? Java space the class name. So it raise and thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. This is the exception. But nowhere here it is displaying rest of the code, the statement, because that line is correct. Because of that error, you are not using the exception handling. It is not displaying that line of code. So there's a problem without not using exception handling. Okay. Now another program I will show you. This is exception handling with exception. This is the program with exception handling. So test try catch to calling the main method and using this line, and I'm using catch. So previously we don't have any try. So what is the difference here? This line, whatever the logic we are going to writing, whatever the code we are writing, that has to keep in try block. Okay, this is, and next is we are catching here. Here is the catch block. So what type of error? If you know that the respective error, arithmetic exception. So how to write the catch block is, we have a class called as arithmetic exception class. I am creating an object E or OB, anything you can create it, E, and we are just displaying system.out.println of that E. What is the purpose of displaying that one? What actually the error? To know the error message, we are displaying that E object so that we can know whether what is the error actually. So after the try block, after this try block, this is a catch block. This catch block ends here, right? And the next code is this one. So what is the output? So previously the output is only arithmetic error divided by 0 exception. Now here it is throwing exception divided by 0 as well as the next line also be executed. It's not stopping the process wherever the error has came. It will be continue the process because somebody has catched that exception. I am taking care of that exception. Please go ahead with your normal execution. That's what the exception is saying to the JVM, that I am taking care of that exception. Please go ahead with your normal flow. Don't disturb to other. So it is automatically executed this also. So let me see that also, that program also here. And just I am taking this code and taking a one more notepad. Just what is the name of the class here? This is the same code. Try catch, save the program, all files, .java. Go to the command prompt, Java C space, Java space C, java.lang arithmetic exception divided by 0, as well as the rest of the code. The remaining lines of the code is automatically executing. It is not stopping the process wherever the exception has raised. It also raised the exception as well as it is continuing the next lines of code. That is the beauty of exception handling. Okay. So as a continuation of the topic, let me have, this is clear. Oh, this is the process, how it is going to doing. So this is data equal to 10 by 0. It is showing here 10 by 0. Now, once it is done, what will happen? An object of exception class is thrown. An object of exception class is what? It is what type of error it is? It is an arithmetic exception that will be thrown. That will be thrown by a class. What class? Arithmetic exception class throws. Now, once that exception object has taken care here, it will be see that whether it is handled. If it is yes, whether somebody has handled. Handle means what? So when somebody throw that with the help of try, somebody has to there to catch. That is called as exception handling, right? So somebody is handling yes. Yes means it is goes to rest of the code will be executed. Nobody is handling. Nobody having, you're not using any exception handling there. So JVM will be print the exception description, prints the stack trace and terminates the program. It doesn't executed the rest of the code when there is no exception handling. When there is an exception handling, definitely the rest of the code will be executed. Clear? Now coming to the multiple catch block. As I said you, one try, one catch. So we can have one try, multiple catches also. See the example. I am creating a class called as test multiple catch block. I am calling the main method. I am writing a try block here. See, I am writing a try block here. So when I am writing a try block here, I am just using an array A of 0. Already we have seen this scenario in the last class, right? So the size of the array is what? 5. So A of 5 equal to 30 by 0. That is what we are writing here. A of 5 equal to 30 by 0. So it is again an arithmetic exception. Now you don't know whether it is an array index out of bound error or arithmetic error or maybe the null pointer or maybe the maybe have another errors like null pointer, array index of bound error, or maybe arithmetic exception or IO exception. We don't know that. For example, once a try block have write it, we are writing multiple catches, catch 1, catch 2, catch 3, this one. So we are writing a arithmetic exception catch. We are writing an array index out of bound exception class. We are writing an exception class. So see the class names. Don't be confused. Arithmetic A capital, exception E capital. Array index out of bounds exception. Each word A capital, I capital, O capital, again of O capital, B capital, E capital. Array index out of bounds exception. There is a class. So this is a task 1. If it is error is belongs to arithmetic exception, display arithmetic exception. That is task 1 completed, task 2 completed. Or is a common, is any exception, other IO exception, then common task completed. Once it is catch, this is catch end here, completed here, it is completed, this is completed. Now the rest of the code will be executed normally. So what is the output? Task 1 completed, rest of the code. What is the task 1 here? Because it is an arithmetic error. It's actually arithmetic exception error. So that's why it will be executed task 1 here, and the next rest of the code will be executed. That's how the program will be run. So let me see the execution of this program so that you can understand very clearly about this one. So we have a program here, multiple catches. That is one example we have discussed. Let me discuss one more example in multiple catches. That is one example. Another example I'm talking about multiple catches. Here I'm creating a class called as multiple catches. I'm calling a main method. Now here I'm taking arrays.length. I'm calculating a array. That is a equal to arguments. Here you are going to passing the arguments, right? In the array, in the command line arguments. So for that I'm calculating the length and I'm assigning to a. So system.out. It will display b equal to 42 by a. Whatever the a has written, that will be divided with 42. Okay. So it will, when divided by this one, if it is raise the exception, it will be catch somebody. Now c of equal to 1. I'm assigning, initializing and one value to this array. C of 42 equal to 99. What is the size of array here? See, only one element. The size of also this is 1 only. But for 42, for 42 index, which is not there, you are going to assigning 99. So how many exceptions you are expecting here? You are expecting the arithmetic error, because array length in the, nothing but at the command line, we are not giving any input there. Directly we are running the program, Java space class name. We are not giving any input for that. After that only it will consider the length of that. So if it is 0, it will raise the arithmetic error. So the array index out of bound. So here array index out of bound. So we can know, we can write particular exception. This is a catch block. This is a class block for array arithmetic exception. This is a catch block for array index out of bound exception. And after any one catch is done, the normal execution is after try and catch blocks. This is the line, it will be executed. So end of the main, end of the class. Okay. Now go to the command prompt. So what is the name of the program? Multiple catches. So go to the program, Java C space, multiple catches dot Java. No errors. Now run the program, Java space, this, enter. Now see, a equal to 0, because here we are not passing any parameters. We are not passing any giving arguments here. Command line arguments, we are not giving any arguments. This is a running of program, that's all. Arguments are 0. So if it is a 0, it divided by 0, Java arithmetic exception divided by 0, one error. After catch block. So automatically it will be call that particular. Now remember here, one more thing, if you observe, once it is done, once it is raised an exception here, it is raised an exception and automatically it is catching and displaying that message, and it is giving the rest of the code, it is executing whenever that is an error. And say for example, if I am giving any input here, 23, 45, for example. Now a equal to what? 2. Now when a equal to 2, what happened? What happened for a equal to 2? That is 42 by 2. It's a 21 value. There is no exception here. Immediately it executed here. It will execute the next. It will initialize. Now here it raises the error. What is the error? Java lang array index of out of bound index. Array index out of bounds exception. That is, it is displaying here the value. That is 42. 42, there is no index. So after that, the next line of the code will be executed. Okay. So like this, it is going to do. If you know the output of, when you want to know the output of that program, you can display the value of B is. Instead of this, you can display here also. You can display the value of B also. If it is matches, right? So if you want, you can display it. Here also we can display the value of B is. If you want to know whether it is properly executed, calculated or not, to know that you can use this. You can use /n here. For next line, it is going to display. Now what I'm doing, I'm just I'll just compile. I'll just clear the screen. Now see. Java C multiple catches.java. Okay. Something has happened here. And B, yes, multiple catches symbol B variable. No, it is accessing outside, right? So it is accessing outside of that B int. Somewhere we have plus /n the value of, and here multiple catches variable B means we are going to accessing this from here, right? From this block, it is going to be accessing from try block. It is accessing that output. So what we can do is we'll just do one thing. No, we have to keep. Yes, we have to keep here. We'll keep this as it is because we don't need to be used in the try. It will not become inside the try. We can use here. When you want, we can use here the value of B is. Because it's a normal statement. In the block, it is not accessible, the B value. Now it is accessible. Okay. I'll just compile. B symbol, multiple classes. I have saved it, right? Yeah, I need to create the, it is try block. I need to create the object for that actually to access that. Or else I can do one thing. Let me see. One error, illegal start of expression. Okay, fine. So initialization, we can't give the this one, this block. I will do one thing here. So whenever it is executed, then only I can display. Problem khatam. Whenever it is executed properly, then only I need to display. Nothing will be happen. Okay. Now I'll compile. Done. Okay. Now I'll run the program. Here, I am giving the arguments as 56. 2 arguments I am giving. A value is 2, and what is the value of B? 21. 42 by 2, that is 21. So this is an array index of bound error. So when you are giving a wrong, values here, when you are giving the wrong values, A value is 0. We have a get A divided by 0. This is divided by 0. That is our arithmetic exception. And after that, it is executed this block. And once it is raised here, it will be assigned here, and it is going to be raise this exception, and it will be stop, and automatically goes the next flow of execution. It will execute the next flow of execution. Now you got the doubt that if it is a error, it is raise the exception. What about this exception? It's not rising. Whenever it is raised an exception, automatically it throws that exception, and that particular block of that cache will catch that exception, and it will execute it, and it will display the message. And the rest of the code means it is coming out of the try. Once the exception has done, it will come out of that line, and it is going to be display that respective exception, and it normally, once it is raised display the exception, it is go for the normal execution process. Okay, so whenever this has an exception, it throws it. Some cache will be called that, and will continue for the rest of the code. Continue the rest of the code means this one. It will never goes to again the try block. You are getting the point. It never goes to the try block again. So that's why it is not showing this array index out of bound error. Okay. So when you give the correct input, here, then only it is going for array index out of bound. When you give normal, the arithmetic exception itself, it is only displaying the arithmetic exception. It is not displaying the array index out of bound exception, because once it is throws, it come out of the try block, it will go to the particular cache and display the message, and automatically the cursor will goes to next control, next line of the line. It never goes to again come back, because we are not giving the instruction to the cache that again go to the try block. Once it is come out of that, it is go to the cache, and once the cache is goes, and it goes to the next line of the code, next line of the control. That is out of the catch block, it will goes. So whenever a exception raised here, it goes to the catch. Once the catch has completed, it will go to the normal execution. What is the next line of the normal execution? Here is the normal execution line. So it will goes to there. Okay. So if it is correct, A by B, 42 by A is correct, then automatically, if it is a 42 by A is there, it will be executed this. And whenever an exception raised here in this line, it catch this one and it goes to the next line. So like this, the exception handling will be take care of that. Okay. So coming to the next part of this is a multiple catches. It will be thrown and task one is completed. Rest of the code will be done. Next part we have the nested try. Nested try in the sense with try within try. See, this is the main try. This is the main try, and this is a child try. For this try, this is a try block. For this is a try block, and this is a for this try block. This is the catch. For this try, this is the catch. Okay. Next, we have another child. This is a child 2, C2. Child 2. This is a try block. And for this try block, this is the catch. This is the catch. For this try block, this is the catch. And this is the C1. This is a child 1. For this is the catch 1. And for C2 child, for this is C2 child, this is the catch block. Okay. And for main, whatever this is, here is a main try is there, right? So this is for main try, catch block. So this is a catch will be end here. And this is the normal flow of execution. Okay. Now tell me this and observe carefully the code over here. Here try, main try we are calling. Inside the try we are calling going divided by, going to divide 39 by 0. It will try, that is throws an exception. The arithmetic exception will display the value of this one. And in this try, second child of try, we are creating an array of size 5 and we are assigning 4. If it is an error is there, it will raise and it will be catch this. Okay. Because A of 5 means what? We are going to A of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. There is no A of 5 because the size of the array starts with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 only. That is the 5 values. There is no A of 5. Don't be think that 5 means A of 5 is there. It will start from 0. It goes to up to 4. It doesn't take the 5 value. So A of 5 not will be considered. So it will raise an error, array index out of bound error, and it will be raise an error here and normal statement. Now what is the output? Arithmetic exception divided by 0, array index out of bound, that is another, and other statement. And once if any main has to throw an exception in the main code, then handle, this will be take care of that, handle or something, and normal flow like this will be executed. Now what is the output of this one? This is the one output. Next, this is the second output. This is the end of this, and end of this try inside nested. Once it is done, it will be this is the third, and 4 and 5 will be executed over here. Now let me run this nested so that you can understand very clearly about this one. So here is the nested try block program, nested try. What I'm doing here is I'm just calculating the array length, same, and 42 by 0 divided by, this is the main try and this is the child try here, nested divided by 0. Okay, in the try, child try, what I am doing here is if A equal to 1, it is, the expression is A equal to A divided by A minus 1. So if you have any confusion over there, better we can go for this program itself. I'll share that program also. You can please execute it. Now for better understanding, we'll go for this same example which we have discussed here. Sorry. Nested, right? We need to execute this. Okay. Now I'm just taking a notepad file and pasting here. Now what is the class name here? The class name is nearly exception 6, or we can use nested try 1. This is the class name, say for example, and save the program .java. Go to the command prompt, clear the screen, Java C space .java, and here because of multiple copies we have done it, because only the problem here is, okay, because some spaces are going to be disturbing That's why it is showing the error. These are all only like what we can say here, try block array index, because we have copied from that one, right? Some extra symbols like this, these extra symbols will be there, and we'll resolve this. Just these are the extra, like these are the extra spaces is there. Because of that, there is that many number of errors is coming. So what I can do is we'll come back to this program, multiple we'll come back to this only, nested try. Okay, so see here, just I'm calculating the length try and divided by 0. This is already seen the example. Now child block, this is a child. Now this is a child block. If a equal to 1, if you are giving one argument, then a equal to 1 by 1 minus 1, that is 0. Or however it may be, if you give the one argument, it will be divided 1 with 0. 1 minus 1 means what? 0. It is divided by 0 value. Now it is there. If a equal to 2, if it is in 2 arguments, then we are saying we are initializing an array with size 1, and we are assigning to 42nd index as 92. So whatever, if you enter one argument, it is divided by 0. If you enter 2 arguments, it is a array index out of bound error. Now this is the array index for the child try, and child try for this one, and this is for arithmetic exception. 2 errors are there. So inside the try, we have a catches. So see, where is the main try? Here is the main try. Here is the main try. Okay. Now, when it is there, if the number of arguments is 0, it will be take care of this. It will be raise the exception. It will display the system.out what is the a value. If you give 0 arguments, 42 by 0, how much? It's a divided by 0 problem. Now it raise the exception. Who will handle that? See, this is the child try. From here it is starting. The child try, it is starting, and this is the if statement. Up to this is a try, child try. Up to this is a child try. This is entirely child try. Okay, so this is the if block. This is the if from here to here. This is the if, and this is the try, child try. Now for that child try, we need one exception, right? Catch, right? That catch is catch array index out of bound. Here is the catch. And what is this close braces? Main try. This is the main try. Up to this is the main try. From there to this main try. Here, main try, that is. Now for that main try, we need a catch, right? This is the catch. Okay, this is a catch of this. And main, method, and the class. So we'll just run the program. Nested, what is the name of the program? Nested try. Just clear the screen. Java C space, nested try.java. There is a capital letter is there. Let me see. Yes, capital letter is there. Nested.java. And no errors. So we'll run the program. See, when I am giving 0 arguments, it will trace divided by 0 because it is raised by the main try. When I am giving one argument, one value, it is raised a equal to, it is a child divided by 0. A value is 1. Who displays the a value is 1? The main try. In the main try, we are displaying a message, right? A equal to 1. That is the main try will be displayed. And this is child 1. How the child has to raise the error here? A equal to 1. Then it is a divided by 0. Who will catch that? The main method, main try catch is there, right? That will be take care of the here arithmetic exception. If the main try throws the exception of arithmetic, it will catch. If the child try also throw the arithmetic exception, it will be catch. So both for the main try, for the child try, if they are throwing the arithmetic exception, that will be taken care by this catch block. Okay, clear? Now when I am giving the 2 arguments, say 2 arguments, if I am giving, now it is arithmetic array index out of bound, because where we are writing the code, if a equal to 2 here, a equal to 2, then the sizes we are creating only for 1, but for assigning 42 for 92. For the 42 index of array, we are assigning 92 value. It's a array index out of bound exception. So like this, the program will be run for the nested the program of this. So this program is only for the spaces, extra spaces are there. And the last keyword is a finally keyword. So finally keyword is a block that is executed, very important block, where executed the important code, such as the closing connection, stream, like as I said you, right? If you draw the money, if you transfer from one ATM to ATM, or if you done the service as recharge in the ATM machine or deposit the amount, whatever that, a common, a very important message will become. That type of code we can be writing in the finally block. So the finally block always executed whether exception is handled or not, whether exception raised or whether exception is not raised, right? For both the cases, it will be executed. So finally blocks follows try or catch block. So finally block follows try or maybe catch. Try, catch, finally, try, finally. Any combination you can write it. Try, catch, finally, try, finally. So note, if you don't have handled exception before terminating the program, JVM executed finally block, if any. So if you don't have using the catches, if you are only using the try and finally, if there is no catch blocks, whatever the finally code you have written, that will be executed. So final block is why important means final block in Java can be used to put cleanup code, such as the closing a file, closing connection. Sometimes you are forgetting to close the connections, the server, the child will be not properly exit from the program. Such type of things code will be done in the final block. So that's about the keywords of 5 different keywords we have discussed. That is Java exception handling keywords. That is try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. These are the syntaxes of that particular. And without exception handling, with exception handling, and clearly we are executed. And for single try, multiple catches, and also the nested try, and also we have seen finally block as well. So that's about the exception handling keywords in Java.